Hello and welcome to another episode. My name is Sean Calhoun, and this is my lovely wife.
I'm Christina Calhoun.
And today we're going to be talking to you about how do I connect with new home buyers. Okay, and before we go into it, Christina, how will people maybe connect with us?
Well, you can connect with us here on Facebook. You can reach out to us, give us a direct message here. You can also go to our website, prettyhomeacademy.com. You can also watch some of our training videos that we have there on the website, as well as find more videos on YouTube.
That's right. That's right. So we got all of that. You can reach out to us. And just a quick bonus that we're going to give you. Also, on the Pretty Home Academy website, we have some workshops coming up, as well as a free strategy call if you want to up your game and make some more money in real estate. All right. Well, let's get right into it. Let's answer some questions.
So, when you're connecting with a new buyer, it's probably like an internet lead or a referral. It's somebody that you don't know. And we're going to discuss if you understand this key concept, it's going to give you an unfair advantage when it comes to that awkwardness and how to overcome it when you're meeting face to face for the first time.
Yeah, it's always that awkward point, right? Where you're like, you're meeting with a stranger pretty much.
And be sure to watch to the end because then you'll have that foundation, all 5 points, so that you can confidently connect with these buyers and serve your clients at a high level.
Absolutely. All right. So, Christina, how do we do it?
All right. So it's a 5-step strategic process. Number one has to go with your mindset. So, what do you mean by that?
Okay. Well, there are a couple things. The first thing, we have to get our minds prepared as if we're going to meet a friend. Okay? That it starts with us. Okay? So we have to, instead of us going and just, we're just going and we're not thinking maybe,
Or being nervous.
or we're nervous, right? Have the mindset. I mean, just imagine someone who is your friend already that you know, and just imagine that you're going to meet up with them. Okay. So that's the mindset that you have. Now that's part of it. What's the other part of the mindset?
You also have to bring excitement.
Right. That's right. You got to bring excitement. So you got to flip that switch. I don't care what's going on in your day, right? Your dog could have bit your ankle. I mean, you stepped on the cat's tail. Like everything, whatever happened that day, you gotta flip the switch, and you have to get your mindset together. Okay, so
And this is exciting. Finding a house and getting to explore, it is exciting, especially if you bring the excitement, it'll cause them to get excited and then they're going to want to work with you.
that's right. I mean, honestly, think about it. Without excitement, when people get excited, things happen. Like that's why you're here. You exist because somebody got excited.
Oh my goodness.
All
right.
So get excited.
So, point number 2 has to do with figuring out what kind of client you're working with. And this has to do with like their personality type. So, there's different personality types. Number 1 would be like a driver. This is somebody, get to the point.
That's right.
They don't want to mess with a lot of extra stuff, right?
So again, you want to identify who your client is. That's what you're doing, identifying them. So again, that driver, if they're getting to the point, if you notice they're talking kind of short, they're kind of maybe bossy a little bit. That's that driver. That's that person. That's their personality, like to get things done.
Okay. The other personality type has to do with an expressive person. They really like to talk. That's one way to identify them. And they want to get a lot of feedback and give you a lot of feedback.
Also, you'll notice with the expressive person, they tend to they work things out in their mind by talking. So if they're talking, actually, when you're identifying them, I want you to know that. So if they're talking and it doesn't sound like they know the answer exactly, they're talking it out instead of thinking it out like some people do, or the driver thinks and figures it out quick. They're talking it out loud with you,
Right. And
or
then
maybe even to themselves, but out loud.
the next personality type is an amiable personality. So this is somebody that doesn't want to be rushed, and it's important that you ask them about how they're feeling.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's really about how they feel. So when you're talking, you don't want to cut them off. They may be a little more sensitive than the average person. A lot of times they're artistic, a lot of wonderful qualities. But again, you want to just identify when they're talking. If they say, "I don't like this," or they're saying their opinions and how they feel, you can quickly identify. And again, this is going to help you connect with them because you can identify, how they operate.
And lastly, we have the analytical personality type. This is somebody who wants lots of facts and figures and data.
Absolutely.
Yep. So once you figure out what kind of personality they have, the third reason has to do with how you communicate with them.
Right. Right. So one part of communicating, and if you really want to connect with them, is you're going to want to act as a consultant, and you're going to want to ask questions without um, interrogating them. Okay, so you're not going to ask questions as interrogation, but you're gonna ask questions. So give me an example of how would you ask questions, without interrogating a person?
So this would have to do with the property. Why did you want to come see this house today? They might reveal that they're looking for a specific school district. So that would mean that they have kids and they're family oriented. Or maybe they would say something along the lines of, I'm really looking to downsize. So they could be retiring, they want a ranch because they don't want a lot of steps, that kind of thing. That'll give you a little indication of why they're motivated to buy right now. You could also ask them about when would you ideally like to move? And that would reveal if maybe their lease is up, or maybe they sold a property and they're looking to buy another one and they have only 30 days. Things like that will give you an idea of what their motivation is. But going back to communication, you kind of want to speak their language. You want to talk to them the way that they communicate. And this brings us to a client that we worked with a couple years ago.
Right. So communicating. So again, we identify who they are, and then when we're communicating, as Christina mentioned, we want to speak their language. And what we mean is, I'm not saying pick up their physical language, but the way they're speaking, the way their personality type, we want to be all things to all people. So, for example, we were working with an individual and he was very analytical. So, something that you might ask is their profession, okay, well, what type of work do you do? And listen, because that's going to help you identify and connect with them. It's also a good conversation when you're listening. And so this particular gentleman was telling us he was a programmer. So that was pretty awesome. So,
and we weren't connecting with him very good at first. We had done a couple showings and he was real quiet. He was holding his cards real tight.
Yeah.
He wasn't really expressing a lot.
And it didn't seem like it was going too well. As a matter of fact, we were getting hit with a barrage of questions because he wanted the data, he wanted information, he wanted statistics on crime and all of this information, stats. As far as a value, is this area increasing in value? What's the percentage? All of these things. So in order to really connect, with a person, we have to connect on a deeper level. So remember at the beginning, we said the mindset of meeting with a friend. So as a friend, you have to connect with people as a friend. So what type of things do you talk to as a friend? Well, if you're a programmer and you're friends, you're gonna talk about programming stuff. So I asked him how many languages did he code in, because there are a lot of different languages. And there was, most people know one or two or four if you're really good. But there are some coders that know 11 languages. I mean, that is extreme. That's a lot. So that was one of the questions I asked. And now he's like, wow, he knows a little bit about my industry. So he let me know how many languages and that he coded in. And then I asked him another question. I said, do you know about the Scorpion or about Scorpion? And see, coders are sometimes hackers, and sometimes they have alter egos online. So, or nicknames, other people like in another, some people call it nicknames, but they don't call it nicknames. Okay. So, again, knowing your audience, I didn't ask what his nickname was or anything like that, but I asked him, did he know about Scorpion, which he didn't know. And so I told him just a little story about it, and it was interesting to him, because that was his world. And again, Scorpion, there was a program that he made, which I found it fascinating myself. The chess game, and if you try to play chess against a computer at a high level, it's like you're going to lose every time. Like you go to the high level, it's like, why does this computer beat me every time? Well, there was the programmer. He created two chess games, two computer chess, and had them play against each other until they stalemated every time, over and over again. And he made this program. Then he took that program, that application, and he would apply it to different things, such as the military, to protect the military, so that, hey, what are all the possible things that people can do against you? They can, and basically it would eliminate those things. So we had a conversation about that, had nothing to do with real estate. We just connected as friends, everything from that point on. And we had to provide the data, we had to get the information, but we connected with him. It was no longer awkward. We were friends. And so, we went from a terrible situation. When we actually did these steps, it worked. That's how we were able to connect and go from that awkward point forward. Now there's one other point. We hit four. What's the fifth one that we need to do, Christina?
You want to make them laugh.
All right.
So keep things light and positive, because honestly, when you're having a good time, don't you tend to laugh with your friends?
Absolutely. And you have to know when to apply this. That's why we said number 5. With the driver, if you come in trying to joke and things like that, at the beginning, it's not going to work. Or with the analytical, it's not going to work.
They're just going to think you're a big goofball.
Exactly. Maybe with the others, you can do that. But you do want to, in the end, have a good laugh with your friends. Okay. And with the driver, if you mimic their personality and you become a driver with them, they're going to close you. They're going to be happy because that's the type of person they want to work with. And then you can have a good laugh. And laugh, enjoy yourself. Like we're not just doing this. I mean, money is a great part of it, but you got to enjoy it, have fun with it. So those are our 5 strategic ways, the best ways we have found to connect with people, to get over that awkwardness. But we want to know what you think, and if you have some tips that you want to throw in with that. So please leave a comment. If you like this, please hit that like button, and please check us out on Pretty Home Academy. We got some great stuff for you. We just getting started.
Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next week.